and welcome back to yet another episode of the CapmLew podcast with your host Luke.
And your host, CapmLew.
That's me.
That's him.
Here we are.
Yes.
And we, of course, began with a little pep talk to our Facebook friends.
Rob's on. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Rob. So
nice to see you.
we've had the pleasure of having Bob Lofton and Robert Griot. And that is something that I have loved in the past. When my Facebook got nuked, I was...
Bro.
What?
Did you throw away my pile of Zen?
I did.
I was piling it up.
I know. We have to build something out of it. We need to take...
Like
you guys know
mache.
what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Luke,
What?
Luke is kicking the vape habit.
Yeah.
A good thing to do.
With a Zen, dude.
I am convinced that vaping is not great for our health. And someone actually came into our comments on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
did they complain?
A little.
What did they say about the vaping or the zenning?
They were saying that they see. Oh, actually, I mean, we can pull up the content of the comment. No interest in putting someone on what you call it.
Here, I'll make a little dish. It'll be like an ashtray except for Zen.
Yeah, here's the comments. Oh, I love that you can do that. What? Let's see. So
come on.
Yeah, this is not how I...
Was this on your personal YouTube that you got a comment?
No, man, this is weird. Wow. Unbelievable, dude. It won't even give me a chronological of the arrival of the comment.
Yeah.
So nuts, dude. Let's just go to content again.
It's on this one.
Wow.
I know.
It's clunky, dog. Wow, that's sharing. This is YouTube. And then we'll silence it. And all right. Then we read it. Let's see here. I like this comment because I'm not going to say who it's from, although anyone could go to our YouTube and see it. It's on Thrasher is a Hypocrite, which was a bite straight off of a YouTube by Ricky Glazer.
Yes.
And
thanks, Ricky.
I'm not a fan of the career track YouTuber thing because I'm old and I've seen some things that I cannot unsee. And the professional YouTube involvement,
yes,
it makes skateboarding so much more important. It's not more important than it ought to be. It is okay for skateboarding to be super important to a person. Yeah. I feel like if I'm going to say anything, there's going to be an aspect to which I say it wrong or what I say doesn't fit. If our listeners are listening to me and they hear me say something in a way that they don't like it, you got two options, three maybe. There's two options and a sub option. One option is, don't listen. But that's hard. When someone says something you don't agree with, a lot of times you can't stop listening. I would liken the CapmLew podcast to a slow motion train wreck. No civilian casualties.
just a freight train.
Just the drivers.
Yeah, right.
Just the drivers, right? Yeah, right. And Scott Laughlin is on there, and he just wished us a happy Sunday. I don't have the heart to break it to him that today is Saturday.
Oh,
I love you, Scott.
Scott.
No, he was wishing us a happy Sunday tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
But the option one is you can stop watching.
Right.
Option two is you can keep watching, listening.
Yeah.
Those are your options. Now the sub option one is you can shut up.
Yeah.
Or you can speak out.
Yeah.
You can make it your mission to correct us by speaking out and putting a comment.
Yeah.
Or you can just, push it down into your stomach.
With all the rest of that stuff.
With all the rest of your feelings.
Yeah.
I like option two when people speak out.
Yeah.
This person has blessed us with a comment. The first mention in their comment is they say, "I don't think," and they put "Crasher is as
Intentional.
important as it used to be." I think it's
I
intentional.
like it.
Yes, I think it's a commentary on the mag as the historic trajectory being into the side of a mountain.
Low terrain. Pull up.
I don't think Crasher is as important as it used to be. Locally, I've never seen any girls be discouraged at the park from skating, and when we do competitions here, we only separate by skill level. We don't separate it by boys and girls. I think it encourages them to progress, and I have watched. He's talking about their local competitions.
Yeah.
Being separated only by skill level, not by boys and girls divisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thumbs up.
Sure.
I do think that's a thumbs up.
I like it both ways. Yeah.
Um, that's a that's cool, and encouragement to progress.
Sure.
Over here at the CapmLew podcast, you're already going to see our hackles rise when you have fallen for the bait and made it a competition. Um, I don't think it's wrong to have this where the listeners are like, "You saying it's wrong to have competitions?"
Oh.
Well, first of all, of course I am.
Oh. You doubled down.
No. um, Here's what's wrong with competitions as the it's not that competitions are wrong.
Yeah.
It's that they've been made the primary event level gathering point
Yeah.
of skateboarders come together in order to find out who's the best. And that's, as they would say in the universities nowadays, that's problematic.
Oh my gosh,
What a
dude.
menacing term that's become in
Oh.
university level. If something is problematic, you're trembling in your boots.
Yeah.
You're going to get called into your advisor's room and
Oh.
have some sort of a
Kangaroo court. Yeah, a
tribunal. You're going to be
tribunal.
called before a tribunal
Yeah,
and
right.
held to account
Right.
for being problematic.
Yes, right. Great. I love it. Thank you so much.
Jello Biafra did not die for this.
Yeah.
All right. So I like this though. If you are going to organize a competition,
Yeah.
and in my days, what I would do in my because I have this ridiculous conscience level objection to competitions being our gathering and organizing point, and almost nothing in our area could happen if it wasn't until finally the mall shop
Yeah, there you go.
began to do what they called grill and chills,
Yeah.
and they'd pass out prizes for like a best trick competition.
Mm-hmm.
They would still turn it into a competition. Everyone lined up taking turns, when the best part of the whole thing was the skating with each other.
Yeah.
Sponsor a team of people who are positive, friendly people who are going to make sure everyone is included and having fun.
Yeah.
That's enough to blow your scene up so much. But I've seen it. They just can't resist it. You can't resist it, dude.
Yeah.
Now, that's not me jumping down the throat of this lovely commenter at all. Have your competition, and it's
Yeah.
awesome that you don't divide by gender roles, but you divide by skill level, and that calls everybody, sure, to get back on the stairmaster and get back to work on becoming worthy of esteem in their community. I had a little edge to that.
Yes.
I did.
I agree.
I'm bitter.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a bitterness that's the wrong bitterness, right? I think we've just had our heads. It doesn't smell like sand. All right, so progress, younger girl. I watched people who have skyrocketed in their abilities. Absolutely. You must not follow Andy Roy currently. He's actually very positive influence now.
That's good to hear.
We are rooting for Andy Roy, and I
Absolutely.
have followed Andy Roy pretty currently. Um, the there's a degree to which I think that fame is just the worst idea for like your life.
Mm. And I
And
would even go to as far as to say fame is the worst idea for your life, especially for a person like Andy.
Talk about
from
it.
from
Talk
from
about it.
from what I can
I'm
see
with you.
about who Andy is, I care about Andy. I think that I, I hope he's doing well. I like him a lot. But he's obviously he has a childlikeness to him, and
A good childlikeness.
it's a good
Yeah.
thing. But fame that responsibility comes with pitfalls along the way, and it's easy to fall down into them. And
Tons of them.
it's hard to tell if the person you're watching, in front of a camera is actually that real person or not. You know what I mean? And we also know by Andy's own admission that he struggled with drug addiction in the past, and possibly, who knows? You know what I mean? I don't know what he's on right now or about right now. So, and it's hard to tell. Sometimes I get the feeling like, man, is this guy just amped up like this, or are you on coke? You know, and that I don't mean to accuse Andy of anything. That's just my thoughts on it.
That's actually a heart that cares.
Yeah, I really care about Andy.
If you love a person who struggles with addiction and
Yeah,
you see them jittery and amped up,
yeah,
um, but for me, on the one hand, we're dealing with public personae or
yes,
personas,
right,
right? And Andy's public persona may have cleaned up, but I don't know because I'm watching Thrasher's like Peastone Invitationals,
yeah,
and I'm not seeing even like I'll tell you what the investment of that media empire ought to be toward. There ought to be a corrective investment. Would it cost them heavily? It might cost them. They might, in their estimation, they may actually wind up saying, "We've been marketing and capitalizing on this for so long
yeah,
that we don't think we can make this direction change."
right,
Oh,
which they
that
did.
is what that they
Yeah,
have
right.
expressed that
Oh, right.
to make that change in message would cost them
Yeah,
their market.
yeah,
I don't know if I don't know if it's actually true that turning from market forces that reward dissipation and destruction and death.
yeah,
I'm not sure that turning from those market forces would cause the collapse of an institutional publication,
yeah,
but I definitely can sympathize with that reasoning.
yeah,
That is a big risk for people to take, especially people who openly do not express evidence of hope in their lives beyond cultural territorial achievement and market capital achievement.
yeah,
If you don't have a base, we're really talking about God here. We're talking about hope in something beyond the
yeah.
seen realm. If
So
you
true.
don't have that base in your life,
Yeah,
it's going to be very difficult to make choices that can be costly in the interest of what the kids nowadays call righteousness.
is that what they're calling it? Is that
In
another name for Molly?
in the modern parlance,
Because it's such a modern word,
they just call it righteousness.
not cap.
No cap.
Yeah,
Unless
no
it's at the
cap.
beginning of a sentence, then it has a
Yes.
capitalized R.
Yeah, right. You got it.
So this comment goes on. I love this comment, and I
Yeah,
love this commenter saying, "I'd be more concerned about the effects of vapes
yeah.
than about the effective Thrasher magazine and Andy." I'd be more concerned about the effects of vapes than whether or not people enjoy marijuana. Oh, marijuana recreationally.
Hmm.
Um, just my 2 cents, but and I'm so grateful to this commenter that they do enjoy listening to us.
Yeah.
Um, well, the British College of Medicine has done repeated studies that have shown vaping to be 95% less harmful than
Cigarettes.
cigarettes. We're not here to promote vaping.
No.
However, if you're trying to, we are two examples of people who, instead of smoking cigarettes, the one of us is on a consistent quality of vape that is dependable, lab checked. The other one of us has gone even further and is now living a life of Zen.
Zen.
Yes.
I'm completely zenned out right now.
He's
dog.
very zenful.
I'm zenful, dude.
He's zenful.
I'm zenned out.
His zenful nature. So,
His base zen nature.
Well, at this point, we're gonna. This episode will come out in a couple of days, and the next episode we do after this will come out a day or so after that. We're still at 2 a week. We're shortening our format a little bit, but we're gonna bid adieu to our Facebook. And I see an old friend on there. Love you, brother. Hope we see each other. And we'll let Facebook go for now, and we will continue on Spotify,
YouTube.
Apple, YouTube,
Yeah. Anywhere where you find podcasts, except for the dumb spots, the normal spots. That's Spotify. That's YouTube. That's Google Play. That's probably one more that I can't remember. Maybe the Amazon one. I don't think so. Just Apple, Google, freaking Spotify, YouTube. You can find it.
And the best one, because you get video with it,
yes,
is Spotify.
Yes, or YouTube. You can do the YouTube route, but you can give us money through the Spotify thing too, which we're never going to say no to.
But that caps you at $10 a month.
Does it cap you?
Yes.
I thought it capped you at $20 a month.
Oh, that's a good.
Dude, if you're giving us $20 a month, I'll give you a high five next time I see you.
It hasn't been my job to know.
Yes, it's fine.
Is it 20?
I think it's 20.
Oh, 20 is.
I'll have to look.
That's actually too much.
Yeah, maybe a little too. I wish there was like a 99-cent
But
version.
if you'd like to send a one-time gift, we're not against it. Get out here and ask for money so we can get back out there selling Bibles. That's our what you call it?
PayPal.
PayPal is the CapmLew podcast.
That's it. Simple enough.
And when you spell CapmLew, you can see it on the screen.
It's with an M.
It's CAPM, like They Might Be Giants.
There, dude. Okay, that's the song.
I'm the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't drive a boat.
It's got to be some sort of.
M is for motorcycles.
All right. Cap
motorcycles.
Yeah.
All right.
Blah 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 motorcycles.
Yep. C-A.
What's P?
P is that one.
Is it? No, this is
a K, upside down K.
Okay.
You know how you can tell it's P?
Because yeah, doggy.
All right.
Yeah.
C-A-P
M
L E
W.
Yeah. CapmLew.
You
there
got
you
it.
go. So goodbye, Facebook. We'll see you guys on Flipper.
Later.
And now it's just us. It's only us in here.
Let's get more intimate.
This comment was awesome.
Yeah.
Someone took the time of their life to post a full
Do you know
paragraph.
the person?
I don't know. I'll look it up. I'm not going to say the name.
No, I just don't know
because
if you knew
because
them.
I've gone and I don't know why. I can't just see who you are.
Hit the 3 dots next to the comment. Hit the comment again. 3 dots at the very top, right?
I did. Nope.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We could look up the name on YouTube, but
so funny.
Who's got the time?
So funny.
It's fine.
But I like that. I think that when it comes to marijuana,
there's obviously a very massive distinction there.
A lot of people are going to disagree with the CapmLew podcast about marijuana.
Yeah, well.
Even the CapmLew podcast disagrees with itself about the vaping.
Yeah, it's
right.
Yeah, right.
Like legit.
Yeah.
Not fans of our own vaping. Right.
Yeah, it's fine.
But cigarettes they do something. They are psychoactive drugs.
Oh my gosh.
They are.
Yeah.
They are offering a cocktail of psychoactive chemicals to a human being. Same with these cups of coffee. We're definitely stimulant positive over here. That's just true. But marijuana is it's stronger. It's a medicine, my guys.
It's much stronger.
It really ought to be taken with a strong sense of responsibility. And that doesn't even, this commenter speaks about recreational marijuana. I'm not even against recreational use of marijuana, especially don't wish that it were illegal.
No, I'm fully down for it to be legal. And I'm fully down for people to make their own damn choices about what they want to do.
Only just as we're making those choices, let there be voices in the marijuana sphere that are saying Hey, though, really quick, I've seen a lot of people who use marijuana recreationally
Yeah,
who are missing pieces.
yeah,
They're missing pieces because they don't need those pieces
yeah.
in order to feel level, in order to feel good. Now, I have a friend who got off of a bunch of psychology meds
Mm-hmm.
using marijuana, and I think that is good in its trajectory.
Yeah,
Only just, hey, like, how much marijuana are we talking here? What's
yeah,
the effect of it on your thinking, on your, like this? And I think it's very difficult to analyze that under the influence of marijuana.
yeah,
Pothead logic isn't great logic. This has been true for many, many years. And um, lots of people who back away from, and it's a relatively expensive habit. So they want to rebudget. I don't know. How much does it cost a month?
to
A daily pot habit?
like, I guess it depends on how much we're talking. I know
I
people
don't
spend a
know.
lot of money. I don't know how people spend a little
Spend
bit of
very
money.
little,
Yeah,
right?
you could probably buy a joint for like $5 or $1. I don't even know. I'm honestly so out of the loop.
Thankfully.
Yeah. So
Um,
yeah,
but even beyond that, forget about wasting money.
yeah,
I waste my money 6 ways to Sunday. Um, my mom, I could see her loving me but not being proud of me 16 times a day. It's fine.
yeah,
But when it comes to marijuana, it's such a powerful drug. It's powerful and it affects judgment and thinking to such a degree that it would be better to use marijuana under a doctor's supervision or some other wise way.
yeah,
Um, I think it's mostly for people who are dealing with like cancer.
yeah.
Yeah,
Again, I think that this is in the realm of people's personal opinion, and I'm pro people making decisions about what they want to do with their
even
life.
making mistakes.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
now you might say, are you down for, crack cocaine and meth to be legalized? I would probably say no. There's
great
obviously a
question.
subjective line in the sand there where you can see that the detriment to a person's life is great enough that you would hope that society itself would stand up and say, no, this is not something we're in for. However, I, in my personal experience, feel that I can tell, especially if I'm working with somebody,
Hmm.
I can tell if that person is a person who uses marijuana habitually in their life.
Talk about how you can tell. What are you
They,
talking about?
the things that I see within that person is a diminished ability to think critically, a diminished ability to problem solve effectively, a diminished motivation. That's my all based on my personal subjective experience, but definitely I would categorize it as empirical, i.e., I'm experiencing it actively over and over in my life with different people. So I think that everybody should think strong, take some time before you decide that this is the road that you want to go down. I'll also say that in my life, I've used marijuana and it was amazing at turning off the static,
Yeah.
numbing down all the big emotions that I felt, making me feel happy and mellow.
Pain,
Yeah, turning the pain
deep
down.
pain.
However, there's a reason that we feel emotional, physical pain. It's telling you something is wrong, something needs to be remedied. So if your response to that kind of pain is always, I'm gonna hit a joint, I'm gonna have a couple beers, I mean, there's a thousand things. I'm gonna scroll through YouTube for an hour, I'm gonna play video games, I'm gonna do anything but deal with this. Over time, that's gonna lead your life in a trajectory that maybe you really don't want it to lead. It's important that we look at the dragons in our life and begin the work of slaying them, in my opinion. And I think you'll be ultimately happier and more mellow. I've also know that
Thanks a lot, Jordan
yeah,
Peterson.
thanks, Jordan Peterson. Yeah, you Nazi. uh I also people make this argument, oh, I feel really stressed out, or I'm prone to anxiety, or I'm prone to depression, so I use marijuana. I am pretty sure, and maybe Luke can back me up, but I think that marijuana, just like alcohol, is a depressant.
It is.
Ultimately,
It isn't. It's initially and ultimately it's a depressant.
and also, I will say that there's probably an argument to be made that if you're using marijuana to treat anxiety
It
that it
actually causes
actually
anxiety.
causes anxiety. So just like nicotine does, it's solving a problem that it's helping to create. I think nicotine is a
Yes.
better example of that, because there are some people with absolutely crippling anxiety. They use marijuana medically. I'm pro for that. I had a sister pass from cancer. She used marijuana. And I
Absolutely.
said, double thumbs up. This is amazing. If I ever get cancer, I will consider using marijuana. My wife has used marijuana because she's an insomniac, and it really helped. All of these are plus. And if you tell me that you use marijuana recreationally and that's what you like to do, hey man, it's your life. You live it. However, maybe consider some of the things that we're saying because they're important. And marijuana, anybody who tells me that marijuana is not a gateway drug, in my opinion,
Yeah.
that's just demonstrably not true.
It's easy to debunk.
It's totally
Um,
debunkable.
so it's a funny thing in life is when I run up on something that's been debunked. Is
Like 9/11.
oh my,
The phone shuts
oh
down, the
my,
CIA lands.
oh my. But when I run up on
Oh,
some piece of media that debunks something, I pay attention to that.
yeah.
Um, but I also kind of file it in my mind under. Um, I've had conversations, not long arguments. I don't tend to argue too long with folks on things, but I'll have conversations, and they'll say, "Well, that's been debunked," and I'm like, "Well, what hasn't been debunked?
Yeah.
What in the world hasn't been debunked? I mean,
Right.
and is a thing is uh, the claim that marijuana is a gateway drug and leads the human mind into entertaining dependence on other substances. I mean, it can be bunk and it can also have merit at the same time.
Yeah.
One of the things that has irked me so much on the marijuana conversation
Mm-hmm.
is the way in which, as a child of the '80s, they told us lies about marijuana.
Yeah, that's
They lied
yes.
to us about marijuana when I was a kid, and by telling us lies
Yeah.
about marijuana, they they actually did a great disservice to their intent
Yes.
because it's just not true. Your whole entire life doesn't fall apart with recreational marijuana.
Yeah.
It isn't the kind of substance that causes you to be non-functional. Or in the 50s it was even worse because they had to get marijuana as a Schedule 1, and they had all these propaganda films. Everybody knows
Yeah.
about reefer madness,
Right. Right.
and the horrible racist terrible things that were done to get marijuana outlawed were so over the top,
Yeah.
which American history is full of over the top hyper reactivity fueled by corporate interests and things like. I mean, it's nutso.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts, and uh, I'm I'm irked by you can debunk so many things, but at the and now we have scientific studies that show the effects of um, even mild but regular marijuana use at ages like
15.
under 25
Yeah.
can cause lifelong changes to brain development
Yes.
and can and there's not a large chance that a person will become schizophrenic. That's people
Yeah. Yeah.
love
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
use data like that,
Right.
but there is like a 700% increase, some large
Yeah.
increase in the risk of long-term psychosis
Yeah.
at the brain level
Yeah.
with juvenile marijuana use.
Right.
And that is fine. That doesn't mean if you use marijuana as a kid you're going to be have psychosis, but it it is a well, it's a nowadays people want peer-reviewed literature that's published in major publications, and that's what that is.
Yeah.
I don't think those things are the be all end all of
No.
what of science. I think the word science has really taken some hits definitionally
Yeah.
in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And so, I do think that the old adage moderation, whether it's alcohol
Yeah.
or nicotine or caffeine or marijuana,
Mm-hmm.
even the use of opiates and opioids,
Yeah.
these things are medicinally appropriate for several different conditions.
Yeah.
And I think that um, it's important for them to be the user, the person needs to accept their responsibility and personal agency
Yes.
in the way that they're going to use substances.
Yeah.
Will mistakes be made? Of course.
Yeah.
But um, let's not have a culture, we do, that just goes whole hog
Yeah.
into being um, on my street in the city of Cincinnati,
Mm-hmm.
my set of streets around my house. Um, while driving in my own vehicle,
Bro.
yeah,
Bro.
while I'm driving in my own vehicle,
Yeah.
I can get so much of the odor of marijuana from the car or cars in front of me
Yeah.
that for 2 more blocks,
Yeah.
if I were pulled over,
They would
they would search me.
they would search you. Yes.
I I'm stunned by this behavior. That is a
Yes.
behavior because the use of marijuana while driving, that's not an enhancement.
Bad move.
Yeah, it is a bad move.
Yeah.
I'll say this, if you're a marijuana user and you feel the freedom in your life to use marijuana while you're driving,
Mm-hmm.
you are practicing a very bad judgment call.
Yes.
That's a bad call. And I would call into question the role that your marijuana has in your life.
Right.
How does the math work that you say, I want to enjoy some recreational marijuana? I will do it while I am driving. You've just made your recreational marijuana more important than the baby in the car seat along the road. Now, are you going to get into an accident? I would say probably not.
Yeah.
Um,
That's like asking a guy. I mean,
but you are much more likely to, and you were
yes.
perfectly happy to increase the likelihood of an accident
Yes.
and, civilian casualties.
Yeah.
You're calling them collateral damage to what? Your pleasure.
Yes.
That's a moral issue.
Yes.
That's actually not an issue of substances that you are using.
Yeah.
That's not a question of whether marijuana is okay in certain circumstances. That's a question of whether you have a, a morally, I don't know, a well composed personal morality.
Right.
And I think that it's a red herring to get into, well, is weed okay or not okay? I
Right.
think it's
That's not really the question.
what do you think as a person is okay or not okay?
Right.
And that's not actually I know other people who similarly while driving have the
Mm-hmm.
habit of tailgating.
Yeah.
And that's also an issue
Right.
that needs to, are you filtering your life decisions and habits through a larger view of what's going on and what's at stake?
Yes.
And if people would make their choices about substances that they use with a stricter personal filter of ethics and morals, it would be better. It would remove a lot of what's going on. Now, I've worked with a lot of potheads, and pothead logic is a running joke even among potheads.
Yeah.
Even Thrasher did an article about working with potheads,
Yeah.
and it was all true.
Yeah.
The thing is, when marijuana gets its hooks in someone, they are, how they say, not the best version of themselves,
Yeah. Right.
but boy, they feel fine about it.
Yeah. They feel
They
fine
feel
about it.
just fine
Right.
about it.
Yeah.
And
It's a
those
bit of a
are,
psyop.
it shows up in integrity and lack thereof.
Yes.
So, those perspectives are going to exist over here with consistency. But you can see how I think the anti-marijuana lobby that wants to keep our paper made of trees and not of hemp,
Yeah.
because if we made our paper with hemp, paper would be cheaper and would last a lot longer. It would be lower acidity,
Yeah.
and our forests would be larger and healthier.
Yeah.
You've got everything from lumber and paper industry that all want marijuana to be a Schedule 1 drug so they can outlaw hemp. And don't get me started about the fuel industry.
Dude.
Cleaner burning, higher efficiency fuels are available from hemp with a yield that's like
10
so
times.
much
Yeah.
more than
Right.
corn.
Of course.
Such better fuel than corn.
Of course.
Can't have that either.
Right.
My goodness.
I
Yeah.
do.
it's dark and sad.
I agree with you completely that as much as I personally refrain from marijuana use in my life and would maybe counsel a friend to think about refraining, the fact that marijuana is a Schedule One narcotic is an absolute joke. The fact that people are going to prison for 10 years at a time for
It is an embarrassing scandal.
it is an absolutely scandalous. I think it's completely and totally ridiculous. I'm not really for sure what the right solution is. Misdemeanor. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it should be probably treated very similarly to alcohol.
It goes back to the petroleum and the paper industries.
Yeah, no, I
It
and I
does.
I agree.
It's one more
I
it's one more lobbying and propaganda job done
yes.
on the gullible American people.
Yeah.
We're so gullible. We should be less gullible.
Yeah.
And mistakes will be made along the way. And we're not here to poke a finger in your face. Now, if you're smoking marijuana at the park, um, it's possible. It's possible that maybe you should refrain and privatize that. I vape at the park. It's a terrible example to children.
Yeah,
It
but
is.
there's a distinct difference between
I might.
vaping and marijuana use. There
I do
really
think
is.
there might be differences of degree.
There is.
But I'm willing to say, like, if well, wait for the studies.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Maybe I'm being just as bad, and maybe this is where this commenter is making a really good point.
Sure.
Here we do an episode called Thrasher's a Hypocrite.
Right.
In it, you can't fail to be a hypocrite yourself, Lou.
Yeah, come on, man.
Absolutely. I think that's fine.
I'm just saying they are one too.
Yeah. I was thinking in the car yesterday about someone saying, like we do an episode, Thrasher's a Hypocrite. We call out some things and some dark dealings. We tend to call out the long and not storied history of sexual abuse in skateboarding and the baseline misogyny and misandry that are fueling market interests in skateboarding, the dark marketing machine in skateboarding that's robbing you of the simple fun of play.
Yeah.
We contend for childlikeness and simplicity. And as we're doing it, we're shown to be hypocrites on several levels. And I was thinking, if somebody just poked me in the chest and said, Lou, I listened to your episode and about what you said about Thrasher, and you're a hypocrite too because you vape.
Yeah.
And I thought my first response would be, yeah, but I'm right though, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I am right about that though, right?
Right.
Like, it's possible for me to be right about this while I'm wrong about that. We were talking about this.
That's a red herring.
Before you brought up
that. Right.
We can have a debate about how important is this.
Right.
I think it's much more important than that.
Yes.
But it might serve the interest of those who wish to defend an institution that has been poisoning the minds and the bodies of tons of people by using that today. And my life will never be free of having a that someone can seize upon and say, yeah, well, you're wrong about that. And you use the word red herring. Explain to people what a red herring is. That's a logical fallacy.
Yeah, it's a logical fallacy wherein people are pointing out a fault. A fault about another topic that usually is related and conflating that topic with the topic that you're discussing. So for us to say, hey, we think Thrasher is really hypocritical, and then for somebody to say, yeah, well, you're hypocritical because you vape. Those two are actually distinct.
True.
They're two different conversations that we're having. So yeah, of course. Duh. Of course we're hypocrites. That's not what we're not claiming that we're not hypocrites. That's not what the episode's titled. The episode's titled Thrasher is a Hypocrite. So, and people do that often.
You know where that term comes from?
I'm not for sure.
We'll conclude this episode with an explanation of the term red herring. Do you know what a red herring is?
I know what a herring is. I don't know.
It is a form of a herring. What's a herring?
It's a big old bird.
No,
It's a fish.
it's a fish.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah,
That's
it's a
right.
fish. My bad.
The bird is a heron.
Yes, a heron. Yes,
Yeah.
it's not a big old bird. That's
It is.
hilarious.
Don't you care about
Hey,
anything?
don't you care about anything? It's a red. Yeah, what?
So-
I know this. I can't
So
remember.
what it is a reference to is that if you're being tracked by bloodhounds
Ah,
and you drag a fish across the trail
yeah.
and you throw the fish over there, they will go after the fish
Yes.
because it's delicious for, I don't know.
For
If I
dogs.
were a dog, would I prefer fish? Maybe.
Or human flesh.
I know. Juicy,
Juicy
stinky
criminal.
butted human flesh
Yeah.
over a fish.
Yeah.
But that's what it's a reference to, is
Yes.
dragging something to get people off the track
Yeah,
of an argument
right.
that could be profitable for
You're
them.
essentially
So
changing the subject.
there it is.
Yeah.
Well, we'll continue this conversation in our next episode. We are thankful that you're here with us. We'd love for you to remember that life skateboards is better. I'm just getting
No.
more concise.
Dude.
I've gotten a little bit of flack.
From who?
I don't want to say. Because I think the content of the flack is more important. And in our next episode,
Mhm.
I think we will address
The
some
flag.
of that flack. Someone came and wrote a book.
Where?
Well, on Facebook. It's got it in the
on-
title.
Oh, I forgot.
It's in the name.
Oh yeah, I remember.
We're
Okay,
gonna
I know
we're
what
gonna
you
go
want.
ahead and give them exactly what they want, which
Yes.
is attention, and we're gonna do that in our next episode. Please join us at the CapmLew podcast for some more. I believe it was called banter.
Banter.
Come and get some chumly banter
Chumley. Yeah.
here at the CapmLew podcast.
True that.
That's right. Support us. Send us a one-time gift. We don't even know what we'd spend it on right now.
Dude, like vapes and
Definitely new mics.
Yeah, but the thing here,
We've been getting that crackle, my guy.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we get the mics, we get the mixer, and then we'll need a computer that does all that stuff. It's
That's
going
going
to
to be
be
the
such a
computer I'm
change.
getting is a gaming computer, dude.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we're taking video out with an MOV file that
We're gonna
has
have to get a camera.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a camera. It's an
That's right.
entire thing. It's like a $2,000 setup that has to happen.
We can do it for $700.
All right,
It's gonna suck,
it's gonna suck so bad.
and that's perfect.
Victory.
Thanks, everybody.
Laters.